Hello everybody, this is Rolls of Winter Bros. In this video presentation, we're going to demonstrate to you the 3D capabilities of GridMaker 3D and how you can use it to make environment boxes or posing boxes for Poser, DAZ Studio, and just about any 3D application that can utilize the Wavefront object file format. So you can see here we've pulled up GridMaker 3D version 1.10. So now you can use any of the styles that are available in the layouts when you're doing the 3D grids. However, we for the most part, the square is going to be probably the most useful with the standard grid. So what we're going to do is first we'll go ahead and create one that's 64 pixels high and wide for each node, and then of course we'll want 10 nodes across, 10 nodes high. So we'll go ahead and create that grid really quick, and here's how it comes up. So once you've done that, what we'll do is you can save it if you want to save this as just because it's going to be the actual texture template for the grids. So what we're going to do here, we'll just call this we'll just call it temp, and we'll save that. Then once you've done that, this save 3D object button will activate or be enabled. And once you do that, you can click that. And then of course you're going to get the option screen for 3D, and you can see there's some different settings already set in. If you change these, you can get it'll do different conversion factors for the different programs. So let's say so if you're just going to use let's say DAZ Studio, you can see it's conversion factor 1, which is actually the default. But if you go to Poser, it's a little different conversion factor. So depending on what application you plan to use it with, of course it's going to take some experimentation on your node, the node width in pixels and how many nodes wide and high you want it. But we'll just go ahead and go to the default, and we'll create, well, let's just go ahead. We're going to demonstrate with DAZ Studio and Blender. So we'll do this one in DAZ Studio. We'll go ahead and save it. And it saved it in the same name as the grid name that we'd previously saved. So it's going to be called temp. So once that's done, we can go ahead and pull up DAZ Studio, and we'll load it in and see what it looks like. You can see here we've got DAZ Studio 4.10 Pro loaded with the Genesis 2 female. So we're going to go ahead and import we'll go ahead and import the grid we just created. We had to really quickly, we paused long enough to go browse to it, and there it is, temp object. So we'll go ahead and click it, and we'll go ahead and let it import. And then for DAZ Studio, we're going to go ahead, and since we use DAZ Studio sizing, that's the default we're going to use for the import. And we'll bring it in. And now you can see we've got this box that we actually created. Let me scroll back a little bit more. So, and like I said, you might have to experiment for the different sizes. This might be good for a gymnasium or something. But if you wanted to actually create a box for a posing environment to put around the Genesis, like the 2 female here, to put a picture on so you can make adjustments to that, you might make it a little bit smaller. But you can see it does create the box, and we'll go back really quick into the Grid Maker and show you some of the stuff. So when we went to do this Save 3D Grid, if you didn't notice, we got in the middle here, it actually shows the box is going to be created. It's an open box, but you can actually not use all the portions. So if you didn't want the right side or the left side, and you just want the front and the back, or the base, excuse me, in the back, you could do that. So you can export this this little box environment whichever way you want, or you might just want the sides and the bottom, or you might just want 2 sides. So you have all these options you can use, and once you've created your grid, it's applied to all of these sides simultaneously when it's exported. So if you wanted to apply different images to, let's say, the 4 different components, you would turn them all off except for like one at a time. You might just leave the base, then export it, and save it up here. And then you might turn the base off and then just do the back and save it, and yada yada yada. So you have a lot of options here, and just take a little experimentation to find out exactly how you want to do it. So we're going to go ahead real quick, and we're going to go ahead and go to Poser, and we're going to go ahead and save an object file again. We use the same name. So there we go, and we'll go pull that up really quick. So you can see here we pulled up Poser 11, and so we're going to go ahead and import that box that we create again. It's going to be a Wavefront object. When you import them into Poser, you'll want to place them on the floor. That's normally off by default, so go ahead and turn that on. Just leave it at 100%, and then we'll go find that box, and then we'll open it. There you go. And you can see again here in Poser we have a 3D box. Now a little bit different thing here with Poser is because the way it handles the normals. You can see the normals are all on the inside of the box. They're facing inside. So when we turn this box to a little bit this way, you don't see this one side because the normals are facing the other direction. It's not like a double-sided plane. It's all created with planes. So actually in this case, if you really wanted to to see both sides simultaneously, what you would do is you could quickly just import the box again, and we'll just go ahead and do that again. And this time what we would do is we'll tell it to flip the normals, and we'll import it. We'll go ahead and bring that one in. And this time what we would do is now you can see so basically each box is showing covering it from all directions. So if you want one like that, you could do that, and you might shift it by well, if you did individual components it'd be easier, but you can see it still works just fine in Poser. And of course GridMaker 3D does come with a fully illustrated user's guide. It's 28 pages. It goes through and shows you how to do all the 2D grid creation and different variables that you can use, and it has an elaborate section down here when you're getting into creating the 3D models that explains everything we just went over briefly, and it shows different things you can do. We'll scroll down here to the end page. You can see on this last page here, number 27 here, you can see how we've got these two DAS characters in here, and we created a partial box around them, and then we applied these images on the back so we could start doing some pose. So we used them for a posing setup environment, so we could get the poses set just right against a photo before we saved them, so that our models looked really good. We hope this has piqued your interest in GridMaker 3D for using in your 3D projects. Of course, we did demonstrate with Poser and DAS Studio, but it exports as Wavefront object files, which are compatible with just about anything on the market, whether it be my Lightwave or any of the 3D products that you might use for your animations and artwork. We hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day.